All right, guys, Darren from FBA Elite, and welcome back to another video. So in this week's video, we're going to be taking a look at gating and ungating. So this applies to categories, subcategories, and brands. So when you first start your Amazon FBA business, you'll find that you're not allowed to sell in certain categories or in certain subcategories, or you're not allowed to sell certain brands. So if you're doing private label, the main thing you're going to be concerned about is category and subcategory ungating. Whereas if you're reselling existing products or you're reselling established brands, then you want to focus on brand ungating. The good news is the process for ungating all of them is pretty much the same. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at in this video. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you a wholesaler that I used to get ungated in one of the biggest categories on Amazon. So make sure you stick around for that. So the first thing that I want to show you is how to actually check whether you are gated for a category, subcategory, or brand. So all we need to do is go to the Amazon menu, go to catalog, and then add products. So despite the fact we've got this separate page here for all of your selling applications, there's actually no way on this page to add a new application. So you have to do it this way. So you go to menu, catalog, add products. And if you are reselling an existing product or brand, then you'd pop in an ASIN for one of the products you're looking at. But for everyone that's doing private label, you want to click on this link here, which is I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. And this will allow you to see all of the categories that you are currently gated for. Now, I am now ungated in the vast majority of categories. So you can see here, there's no padlocks when you're looking at these. The only one that's actually got a padlock is here, which is handmade products. But that is slightly different to all of the other categories. The ungating process for handmade products is completely different. So I'm not going to cover that in this video, but for pretty much every other category, the process I'm going to show you in this video is pretty much exactly the same. So in terms of parent categories, I'm not currently gated in a parent category other than handmade products to show you an example. But there is a subcategory in beer, wines, and spirits. So sometimes you can be ungated in the parent category, but gated in the subcategory. So you have to be careful you don't get caught out of this. So if I click through to beer, wine, and spirits, and now we start to see some of these padlocks that I was talking about. So I'm gated in beer, and I'm gated in beer, wine, and spirits, in cider, fortified desserts, wines, etc. So you can see here very clearly, before you start to add these products, that there is the padlock in place. Let me just very quickly hide the webcam. You can see all of those padlocks that you've got there. So in order to get approval to sell in either the category or subcategory, depending on which is gated, you need to find a product within that category. So you don't just apply to ungate in the category, you have to apply it via a product within that category. So even if you have no intentions of selling that particular product, you still use that product for the ungating process. So what I've done is I've found one within beer, wine, and spirit hampers, and we've got this product here. So all we need to do is take the ASIN, and then we're going to go back to that add product page that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So if you scroll down, you'll see the ASIN is listed there. So just copy that ASIN. Then we're going to go back to Seller Central and go to the add product page. So this time, instead of saying I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon, we're going to add the ASIN of the beer product that we know is within a gated category or a gated subcategory. So this product now appears. Then on the right-hand side, it says select a condition. So you need to select new. Any of the warning signs you might see about selling used products, just completely ignore those. We're not going to be doing that. We're only selling new products. And when you click apply to sell, if there is any gating on the brand, or any gating on the subcategory, or any gating on the category, it will all pop up in a list. So let's click apply to sell. And you can see in this instance, we're only gated in the subcategory beer and wine. We're not gated for the brand itself. So if we get approved for this category, we can sell this product if we want to. However, we're not accepting application to sell other beer, wine category news. Like I said, just completely ignore this. You're going to see this all the time. So when you get to this stage, you will click the request approval button. And if you have an account like I do, which is a couple of months old and it's got a good sales history, it may go through automatically. If you've got no sales history, or it's a category or brand which Amazon don't like to ungate easily, then you're going to have to provide some additional information. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. And I've got an exact example with a wholesaler that you guys can use to get ungated within some of these categories. So when I click request approval, we're going to see one of two things. It's going to ask me for invoices or approval letters or it may ungate automatically. So let's just click this now and see what happens. And actually, this probably isn't the best example, as this looks like very specific to the beer and wine category. They want to actually make sure that we are licensed to sell alcohol. So it says here, tell us about your products and business. Do you have VAT registration, and do you have an excise number? So this is probably a warning, a good warning that you shouldn't really be selling beers, wines and spirits if you are a new seller, unless you've actually got these licenses. But what would normally pop up here, like I say, is either an automatic approval or Amazon requesting an invoice to prove that you have ordered from a wholesaler. And that invoice needs to just show one very simple thing, and that is that you have bought a product in a quantity of at least 10. Now, there are some other requirements for the invoice, and if I take you back to my selling applications, I can show you some of the ones that are in progress. So you can now see here, I've got the beer and wine category. It's in draft status as it wasn't approved. But if we go to category here, you'll see that I've been approved in music category. This is just one I put through this morning as an example when I was making this video, and it went through first time, so I couldn't actually show you the invoice page I was trying to show you. And under the subcategory, we've got grocery and gourmet foods, which is the first category I ever got ungated in, as it opens up so many products. And then you can develop a sales history, which means pretty much all of the other categories will ungate. That's why I'm struggling to actually find you guys an example of that. But I'm going to show you in this video exactly how I got ungated for grocery and gourmet foods. So the same thing applies to brands as well. And this is a lot easier to demonstrate, as I've got a lot more brands that I haven't actually been approved for. So if we take Nintendo as an example and go to the Go To application, this is the screen that would pop up when you chose add this product to your catalog. It would come up saying you need to provide one of the following, either one letter from Nintendo authorizing you to sell their products, or at least one purchase invoice for products from a manufacturer or distributor. And this is by far the easiest way to get ungated in a category, subcategory or brand, and that is with an invoice like this. So when you click on this box, it will tell you the exact requirements of this invoices. So it needs to be dated within the last 180 days. Should be easy enough. It needs to include your name and address matching the information in your selling account. So when you set up your account with the wholesaler or distributor, you need to ensure the details exactly match the account that you have opened with Amazon. So the details you entered into Amazon must 100% match the details you enter on the wholesaler or distributor account as well. It should also include the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor, and it should show the combined purchase of at least 10 units. So this needs to show at least 10 units of the item you are buying. It can omit the pricing information if you want. I don't really worry about that. And please note, we may verify your submitted documents by contacting product vendors you identify in your application. So what they're basically saying is don't send us a fraudulent invoice, because if we check this with the wholesaler and they don't match up, you're going to be in trouble. So to wrap this video up, I'm going to show you the real world example that I used a few weeks ago to get ungated in the grocery category. So I use this product here, which is Swizzle's Marvelous Mallows. And they're only selling for like £1 each. I have no intention of actually selling this product. I've actually still got a box of them sat there on my racking. So I'm not going to sell this product. It is purely using it to ungate. So now we had a product that we knew was within the category that we wanted to ungate, or the subcategory that we wanted to ungate. We needed to find a supplier. So I used a supplier called Harrison's Direct. So you can find them at harrisonsdirect.co.uk. And it cost me, I think it was about £10 for a case of these plus delivery. So I ordered it from Harrison's Direct. It got delivered the next day. And then once it had been delivered, Harrison's were happy to provide this invoice. And if I zoom out a bit there, you guys can see I've removed obviously some of the information, but you can see here, I bought one case of 12 units. So hitting that 10 unit requirement of these Swizzle's Marvelous Mallows. The invoice address I made sure matched my company address, whereas the delivery address doesn't necessarily have to match your Amazon address. It's got the Harrison's Direct logo on there and the Harrison's address as well. And they are VAT registered as well, which is something that Amazon like to look for. They want to see that you've bought from an official supplier. So you can't just use a receipt from the shops, but if you've got a VAT invoice and a quantity of at least 10, you should be absolutely fine. So the final step is just to go back to Seller Central, upload your invoice here and tick all the boxes. Now, if you are ungating a category or subcategory, this is actually for a brand application, so I can't show you, but it will ask you to upload photos of the product that you ordered. So just take a picture of the bulk case that you have ordered from 4 or 5 different angles so they can see exactly what you've ordered. Then you submit this, and usually within 24 hours you should get approved. Now, if you don't get approved, they should show you an error message. If they don't give you specifics, just resubmit. I've heard many stories of people submitting the same thing 4 or 5 times before it finally gets approved. So make sure you persevere with this and read any responses that come back. And then once that has been approved, you should be good to go for selling in that category. So that is how you get ungated in a category, subcategory, or brand. If you're just starting an Amazon FBA and you're struggling to find products, what I'm going to do now is pop up a video in front of me showing you how I found 25 products within 1 week, and I'll see you guys over there.